Salutations, and welcome to Sync, the weekly gaming news show where we give you a TLDR, no BS, recap of what's been going on in the gaming industry from March 9th through March 12th. As always, the bar on the bottom of your screen will fill as each story progresses, so feel free to skip around. And all the timestamps, along with the sources, are in the description. My name's Ponyb0i. Let's get started. First up, after several major organizers, including the event's major event coordinator, pulled out of attending this year's E3 Expo in Los Angeles, the ESA, Entertainment Software Association, canceled this year's conference over concerns surrounding the spread of COVID-19. The news was leaked a bit early amid rumors and speculation when company Devolver Digital posted this tweet the night before that read, "Cancel your E3 flights and hotels, y'all." Thankfully, companies like Devolver and Nintendo are stepping up and still plan to stream something during that time, with Microsoft and Ubisoft following suit. After a very curious tweet by Nintendo of America which teased Mario in a Lego fashion, the two industry giants of children's fun have joined up to release Mario Brothers themed Legos. The collection, dubbed Lego Super Mario, involves a Mario figure with an LED display and movable pieces to build a real-life Mario level with a Lego twist. The trailer shows off small connected Lego islands with different Mario set pieces, including a Goomba and Bowser Jr. There seems to be a form of interactivity with Mario's chest lighting up to indicate coins and defeating an enemy by placing Mario on top of them. It's certainly a neat little set and could cost anywhere from $10 to $100, depending on what you buy. Hopefully we see more collaborations between the two in the future. Phantasy Star Online 2 is finally bringing its open beta to the West on March 17th. After a successful closed beta back in February, the open beta period was originally scheduled for the end of that same month. With fans slightly skeptical about the release date of March 17th, it's the first time that most Western fans will have a legal way to play this historical MMO. With a spring 2020 launch on Xbox One and a PC version following later this year, it looks like 2020 can be the year that Phantasy Star finally takes over America. However, there is no information on a European launch at this time. Reggie, the beloved former head of Nintendo of America, has joined the GameStop Board of Directors alongside William Simon and James Szymanski. This shakeup at GameStop comes after a less than stellar performance over the last couple of quarters and lines up with the normal rotations of people that sit on the board. It's no secret that GameStop would be looking for a way to increase their sales, and by hiring somebody so close to the industry, it seems that they hope to restore the store's image. We just hope Reggie has a good time in his new position and wish him the best of luck. A bit of a surprise this week when Epic Games announced that not only would Borderlands 3 be releasing March 13th on Steam, but it would be marked down to 50% on the storefront until March 20th. The game is already priced out in most storefronts, including Epic's own Epic Launcher, but it's nice to see an olive branch being passed from Epic to Steam users who did not want to buy the game on a different platform. Overall, this is definitely something to pick up if you haven't played it yet. And, if you have already, a new way to play with your Steam friends. The Persistence is a PSVR title that just received a multi-platform trailer this past Monday. Set on a spaceship in the somewhat far future, the player is tasked with exploring, surviving, and killing their way through an abandoned spaceship. Through exploration of this alien-like setting and sheer force of will, players are tasked with fixing the ship and bringing it back to Earth. Finally leaving the exclusivity of VR, The Persistence is coming to the PlayStation, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch in the summer of 2020. This one seems scary enough to warrant a proper embrace from horror fans. Friday marks the return of Trials of Osiris, the 3v3 elimination game mode which touts itself as the pinnacle of Destiny PvP content. Some of the new features include new gear, weapons, and armor. The Lighthouse, a social space that's returning from Destiny 1, is an area only accessible by those who go flawless. 7 wins and no losses. Along with the Lighthouse, those who go flawless will get a special glow added to their armor, signifying their victory. Trials of Osiris is a permanent addition to Destiny 2 and is set to run every Friday to Sunday from this point forward. Be sure to check out the trailer in the description below. A cool side note, Bungie will no longer be selling paid loot boxes in exchange for hard-earned cash. A change that flew under the radar, but a welcomed one. The translation group Geofront announced this week that The Legend of Heroes: Trails from Zero is getting an official English translation mod on March 14th. This is exciting news as it is the last major Trails that had not previously been translated to English. The other titles are Trails of Code Steel and Trails in the Sky. Geofront is a fan-organized group that has made a name for themselves for highly professional translation work, both fantastic and well-regarded RPGs. The inclusion of Zero being available in English brings the story full circle as Zero takes place between the two. You can check out the press release and trailer in the description below. The mod is only compatible with the Japanese version, so that copy will be required, but otherwise will be released for free. After 2 years of PS4 exclusivity, the fan favorite Horizon Zero Dawn is confirmed to come out on PC this summer. This confirmation came during an interview with Herman Hulst, head of PlayStation's Worldwide Studios, who previously led Guerrilla Games. the developers of Horizon and the Killzone series. This announcement led to a small outcry of PS4 fans, with one even posting a video of a destroyed PS4 setup. An overreaction to say the least, as more people will get the chance to play Horizon Zero Dawn this summer. Guerrilla is currently working on an untitled sequel to Horizon, and we can't wait to see what the studio creates next. In a tweet released Tuesday morning, @NathanNS on Twitter posted a screenshot from a Facebook page belonging to the band The Death Set. In this post, the group mentioned that they licensed 5 new songs to the Tony Hawk 2020 game. Not much else is currently known about the title, but I can think of a few fans that would like to see Tony Hawk return to its true form as a premier skating game. With a short nostalgic trailer released on Monday, Team 17 hints at a return to the Worms franchise in 2020. The trailer highlights gameplay from all the previous titles and is matched with a quote from Team 17, "New Worms, new ways to play." It has been 4 years since the release of the last Worms game, WMD, so any update from Team 17 is welcome. Here's to hoping it's not a mobile game, and if it is, let it be good. Fans of the strategy series Anno 1818 received a trailer for new content relating to the second season pass. The trailer shows off 3 new DLCs. The first one called Seat of Power, which drives a focus toward the game's economy and building up your governmental buildings. The next one is Bright Harvest, which brings mechanical improvements and efficiency bonuses toward farming. The last DLC is entitled Land of Lions, which tasks the player on a new map with new goals like bringing life to the desert. Feel free to check out the trailer below and let us know what you think. In an announcement this week, 2K Games and the NFL reached a multi-year partnership for future titles. 2K previously released the NCAA football series back in the late 2000s to early 2010s. This came to an end after a disagreement over players' likeness, jerseys, and how everyone would get paid. This announcement prompted EA to decide that they are still working with the NFL, which means we might see a future where Madden and NCAA football games exist again. Overall, not the biggest news, but certainly an interesting development for sports gaming fans. The final specs and launch times for Doom Eternal were released this past week, with the recommended specifications being a high-tier PC, and the minimum being a reasonable 1050 Ti. And for those who truly want to rip and tear with the best of them, the Ultra Nightmare specifications look for a 2080 Ti or Radeon 7 card, with top-tier processors to match. They also showed off a trailer highlighting the new ways you will be able to customize your Doom Slayer come launch day. Doom Eternal launches on March 20th everywhere except Japan. Japan's release date is on the 27th, with the Nintendo Switch's version coming globally later this year. Releasing alongside Doom Eternal, a port of Doom 64 is coming to the system. Developed by a team well proficient in Doom 64 source code, they managed to put in an entire new mission just for this release. The port is in the hands of lead programmer Samuel Villarreal, the man behind Doom GX, which is a PC source port of Doom 64. Doom 64 initially ran on a modified ID Tech engine by Midway Studios, which makes this an even more pleasant surprise. Overall, it's nice to see a game like Doom 64 reach an audience outside of just hardcore Doom fans, although its inclusion is a bonus for those who purchase Doom Eternal as well. Fans of the FMV heavy real-time strategy game, Command & Conquer, received very exciting news this week as a proper revealed trailer for the new Remastered collection was released. This trailer walks through all of the changes, remastered assets, and what is in store for its release on June 5th. With the original sound designer and several members of Westwood Studios involved, let's just hope it turns out better than the Warcraft 3 Reforged launch. Hades is a roguelike currently in early access on Steam and Epic by the creators of Bastion and Transistor. The newest update, dubbed the Nighty Night Update, brings a whole host of fresh content to this beautiful looking game, with new weapons, upgrades, and enemies, including very small vermin as highlighted in the trailer. This game is certainly shaping up to be one worthy of the legacy of both Bastion and Transistor. There's so much added in just one small update. It's no surprise that this is shaping up to be a fantastic game, and if you're a fan of roguelikes, I suggest you look in the description below. The third update for Satisfactory is full of new surprises, like pipes and fluid, pumps and flow indicators, 8 different types of fluid, and a whole host of upgrades and quality of life improvements. Even a new way of traveling around your factory through a system of connecting pipes that are reminiscent of Futurama. On top of all that, there's a new starting area that looks to provide a bit more of a challenge called the Dune Desert. There's even a new vehicle to drive around the map, known as the Fix-It Factory Cart. It looks to be the best way to quickly zip around your new factory. Update 3 looks great, and a Steam release is approaching soon. Exciting news from CD Projekt Red, whose upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 launches in September. President Adam Kaczynski let a group of reporters know that the next Witcher game will start development right after Cyberpunk releases. It was also detailed that it would not be a direct sequel and will not be called The Witcher 4. However, what is known is that Ciri is set to take over as the main protagonist now that Geralt has hung up his sword. It's a bit of an early announcement, but it's nice to know that the dev team is looking toward the future. With September drawing close, CD Projekt Red seems to be getting right back to work. Over on the PlayStation blog Wednesday, an update on Spelunky 2 was released by developer Derek Yu. Derek details much of the upcoming improvements and changes to the game since the original Spelunky, while also showing off several screenshots which look amazing. The amount of work and detail that has gone into the lighting and effects within this really shows the passion behind the development team. Overall, it's a quick and interesting post to go through, and if you want to check it out, it's in the description below. A surprise out of left field this this week as a new game entitled Roundguard announced both its release date and its existence to the world. The dungeon-crawling roguelike developed by Seattle's Ponyb0i Games takes everything to love out of Peggle and applies it to the roguelike formula for an enticing and interesting experience. The trailer itself describes the game as the bounciest dungeon crawler and looks like an absolute blast. It's coming to Steam, the Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and the PS4 on March 14th. Fresh off the final update for the Enter the Gungeon, Dodge Roll Games and Devolver Digital announced Exit the Gungeon, taking place immediately after the ending of the first Gungeon. It tasked the Gungeoneers on a journey for revenge and finally understanding the secrets and meaning of the Gungeon, including how each of the playable characters got their start, and hopefully their escape from the Gungeon. There's no release date yet, but spring 2020 is listed on the Steam page as of writing. With Persona 5 Royale coming out at the end of the month, it's no surprise that Atlus released a trailer today showing off some of the additions and changes done to this definitive edition of the best-selling JRPG title. The announced graphics and additional personas are sure to add enough content to warrant a playthrough a second time. Only releasing on the PS4 on March 31st, there is still no word on any Nintendo Switch port of Persona 5, with only Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight coming out on the Switch, much to the disappointment of fans. Alright y'all, that's Sync for the 9th through the 12th of March. We also just hit 100 subscribers, so I wanted to thank each and every one of you for your time and support. And if you haven't subscribed yet, but you'd like to, you know where that button is. Lastly, let us know what you've been playing. Our writer Andy has been gearing up in Destiny 2 for trials while I've been cooking chicken dinners in COD Warzone. Once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week here at Sync. Well, I'm Ponyb0i, and until next time, stay gold.